So now let's look at what are some ways that you will be able to assist the compensation and benefits team with their decision making and their day-to-day operations. So I think when it comes to the operational side of things, it's very number driven, and it's basically certain financial decisions that you will need to take. So you might be required to do some long-term cost modeling. Um, you could be asked to do some simulations for certain margins, or some feasibility studies for the new benefits that you're offering. Let me explain this in detail. So, for example, when you are offering a new benefit, what you would like to see is how this benefit will scale in the long term. So, what I mean by this is, let's say you offer a benefit like free movie tickets to all your employees. Now, perhaps today you are a small company which has only 1,000 employees, and you feel that this is a small cost, which is not a large number, and this is something that you can easily absorb within your margin. What you would need to also keep in mind is that your company has a certain growth target in mind. So, as the organization grows, because this benefit is directly proportional to the number of people, the cost of this benefit will keep growing along with the growth in your organization. And this is the kind of cost modeling that you will need to do and see how this benefit will scale up in the long run. On the other hand, you might have a benefit like creating an in house gymnasium. Now, this is a benefit which has a very high initial cost of setting up. So, we call this an initial fixed cost. So, you have this fixed cost and you've paid this in the first year during the time of construction. And now, even if you have double the number of employees, you actually are not really paying double the cost every year because the gymnasium has been built and all the equipment is ready. And all you would have is perhaps a little bit of maintenance and replacement costs that will happen every year. So, these kind of comparisons between benefits that are largely variable basis the number of employees that you have versus benefits that have fixed costs which form the greater component of their entire value are the kind of comparisons that you should be able to assist the team with. Um, Similarly, on the salary side, you might be asked to put together entire compensation models and run with different kinds of salary budgets, and then see how this new policy or this new approach to compensation modeling will result in affecting your margin. So, pulling all of your expenses together and then seeing them along with your income will help you see what is the room that you have to play with and how you can make sure that your organization is able to achieve its targeted margins year on year. So, these are the kind of small financial calculations that you might be required to do. It would be helpful for you in this area to have some understanding of ideas like margins, incomes, expenses, maybe a little bit on inflation and compounding of interest rates. And these are very, very simple concepts. And in fact, tools like Excel have a lot of inbuilt functionality that will help you with doing these calculations. And once you get started with these calculations, you will be able to guide your HR team into whether it is even feasible for them to offer a certain benefit or run with a certain compensation model, because you will be able to tell them that, hey, if you roll this out, this is the kind of impact it will have on our margin, and are you sure you're willing to take up this cost? So these kind of feasibility studies where you pull in all of these data points, you look at the long-term implications of the kind of decisions that are being taken, maybe the kind of income growth your organization is projecting, and pulling in all of these data points will help you guide the HR team and make sure that they are taking the right decisions. So this is more, I would say, on the financial side of things. But apart from this, just in order to make sure that you're able to pick the right benefits out of the entire bouquet of benefits that are available to you, you might also want to run things like employee satisfaction surveys, work on getting feedback from employees, and then try to see whether you're able to map the kind of benefits that you want to offer to the demography or the aspirations or preferences of your internal employees. And when you run these kind of surveys, you will realize that you're able to, in fact, do a lot more analysis by slicing and dicing your data, whether it is region wise, whether it is age wise, role wise, designation wise, and then be able to offer these targeted benefits programs and targeted compensation models to different sections of your own workforce. So that's where you are looking inwards. But I would also recommend that, this for this section, you need to keep a sharp watch on what the competitor is doing. So, salaries and benefits are things which are extremely visible. And usually, these are the, I would say, the most sensitive levers that judge whether that influence whether an employee is going to stay with you or is going to leave for better opportunities. So make sure that you keep a watch for what's going on in the market, create your internal benchmarks, and then are able to take these decisions whether you want to be above the average benchmark of the industry, whether you want to be at the benchmark, or perhaps you're playing the low cost game and you want to make sure that you are not overpaying or wasting too much money on your benefits plan. So these are some great ways that you will be able to assist your HR team and help them make a strong case for the kind of program that they are going to offer to their workforce.